Good day. Ngayong araw na to, ang pag-uusapan na naman nating topic is about equilibrium of bodies. Okay? Let's start with general terms. Okay? So, ano ba tong equilibrium of bodies? Pag sinabi nating equilibrium, we are talking about a state. Okay? A state in which your body, okay? So, when we speak of body, anything, pwedeng ikaw, pwedeng kahit anong bagay, kahit itong eraser na to, okay, itong hinohold ko na pen, okay, itong table na kinatatayuan nitong whiteboard, yung bahay mo, okay, or any object, any matter, or any physical bodies, okay, yan yung masasabi nating body, in which pwede natin siyang, okay, i-take as a point. Okay? Sabihin na natin ito yung body mo. Okay? Pag sinabi natin nasa equilibrium siya, okay? Paano natin masabing nasa equilibrium siya? Okay? Okay? We are speaking of static equilibrium. Okay? We're speaking of static equilibrium. Kapag ang isang bagay is nasa static equilibrium, ibig sabihin, dalawa lang yan. Okay? You sum up forces in any direction is equal to 0. And you sum up all the moments is equal to 0. Okay? So, it is in any direction. When we say summation of forces, so kahit anong direction. Okay? So, whether naka 2D siya or 3D. Okay? So, maybe, okay, magtataka kayo. Okay? So, sa mga libro na nababasa nyo, yung forces is my forces X at forces Y. But honestly, kapag yung body mo is in equilibrium, hindi lang Y or X direction. Kahit i-rotate mo ang axis mo at gawin mong ganito, X bar, tsaka Y bar. So, kahit anong direction, in any direction, in any axis, kung nasa static equilibrium, yung body mo, whether in this axis, okay, so sabihin natin na ang axis mo ay nandito, in that direction or in that direction, dapat mag-sum up ka ng forces is equal to 0, okay? So, but for the sake of simplification, okay, of the process of solving the unknowns, so we use the equilibrium equations, okay? So, isang paglilinaw lang yan, okay? That the summation of forces is equal to 0 is pwede mong isum up sa kahit anong axis, kahit nakatagilid yung axis mo. Okay? O nasa perfect horizontal or vertical man siya. Okay, so for the equilibrium equations, okay, speaking of equilibrium equations, 2D, ito lang yung kailangan nating tandaan. Yung summation of forces X is 0, summation of forces Y is equal to 0, and summation of moment is equal to 0. Okay? So, at this moment, is dapat nakafix siya sa isang point. Okay? Pag sinabi nating moment, fixed point, okay? So, let us say meron kang body na let us say ganito yung body mo, parang wrench, okay? And then nag-apply ka ng forces dyan, okay? And then this is the support, and the support has 2, okay? And the support has 2, let us say has 2 forces, okay? So may forces, let us say this is let us say this is point A, so this is AY, and this is AX. Okay? So, if this is the case, and let us say this is theta, okay? So, paano mo buuin yung equilibrium equation mo? itong summation of forces x, of course, is in the x direction. So, kapag ganyan, paano mo buuin? Summation of forces x is equal to 0. Okay? Mag-assume ka ng direction. Is either doon sa left or sa right mo yung positive. Pero, okay, so may advice lang, okay? So, para sa akin, yung ang pinaka-convenient sa akin is lahat ng nasa right is positive at lahat ng nasa left is negative for x-axis. While on y-axis, lahat ng nasa itaas, positive, at lahat yung nasa ibaba is negative. So, ganyan yung assumption ko. That is my personal preference. Okay? Para hindi nakakalito kasi alam ko nasanay tayo. Okay? Most of us nasanay tayo about sa Cartesian coordinate plane kung nasaan yung positive at nasaan yung negative. Kaya ganito yung direction ko. Okay? So, therefore, you can have an equilibrium equation, AX minus F, kasi nandito yung theta. So, F sine theta is equal to 0. Okay? So, ganyan yung, okay? Then, summation of forces, Y is equal to 0. Okay? So, dito, i-add mo, okay? So, mag-assume ka. Okay? So, paano ko ba ito binuo? So, I collect every forces at in horizontal direction. Okay? So, kapag may force ka na nakatagilid, katulad nitong force na to, force F, so, kailangan mo siyang i-break down into components. So, that's how you apply, okay, the equilibrium equations. Itong summation of Fx, summation of Fy, at summation of moments. Okay? So, speaking of summation of Fy is equal to 0. So, sa nakikita natin dito, yung y-axis natin is AY, kasi nakapataas siya. Okay? So, sorry. Dapat pala positive to. Okay? Positive to kasi nasa right direction din yung F. Okay? Sorry. So, may I correct myself? Dapat naka-positive to. Okay? F sine theta. Okay? Kasi kapag kinomponents mo to, meron kang Fy and then meron kang Fx na nakaharap doon. Kaya positive. Dito, A1, pataas, kaya positive. Okay, ganito din yung nakasanayan kong assumption. Pataas, positive, pababa, negative. Pwede rin mag-assume ka the other way around, pero magkaka-interchange yung signs. Yung dapat sana negative, magiging positive, at yung positive, magiging negative. But anyway, inequate mo naman sa 0, so dapat when you solve for the unknowns, ganun din yung makukuha mong sagot. So, magiging AY to minus FY cosine theta. Okay, bakit cosine? Kasi adjacent yung y-axis is equal to 0. So, yan yung dalawang equilibrium equations. So, kapag given na yung theta mo, saka yung x mo, pwede mo na itong masolve kung ano yung, okay, f lang to ha, f cosine theta. Masolve mo na si ax at saka si ay. Okay? So, but somehow, merong mga pagkakataon na kailangan mo ng ikatlong equation, which is summation of moments is equal to 0. Okay? So, I would like to tell you, class, okay? So, not all the time na itong tatlong equilibrium equations mo is ma-apply mo sa problem mo. Pwedeng dalawa lang yung gamitin mo, masolve mo na yung problem. Okay? So, magiging ambiguous na kasi kapag mayroong ikatlo. Most of the time, ito muna yung i-concentrate mo. Okay? So, yung summation of forces X at summation of forces Y. Okay? Then, tingnan mo din yung problem. Ilan yung hinahanap mo? Tatlo ba o dalawa? Dito, okay, meron kang AX, isa, AY, isa, F, isa. So, here, tatlo pala ang hinahanap natin. So, this is not enough. So, dapat may ikatlo tayong problem. Kaya, mag-summation of moments tayo. Okay. So, paano ba mag-sum up ng moments? Okay? So, please remember how to, okay, the moment about constructing equilibrium equation. Okay? Kung paano gumagalaw yung moment arm. Okay? So, kapag nag-sum up moments ka, mag-choose ka. Okay? So, you will choose any point. Okay? Yung pinakamadaling point. Okay? So, sabihin natin, eto. Nag-sum up forces ako kay A. Sabihin natin, sa A kay A tayo, mag-sum up forces with dito na side. Okay, bakit? Kasi dalawa yung forces dito. Okay? So, kapag nag-summation of moments ka, maneneglect mo yung mga forces dyan sa point na yan. Kaya yung technique mo is hanapin mo yung may pinakamaraming forces na nakakabit sa kanya. For in this case, ito, yung sa A. Dalawa. Kapag nag-sum up moments ka, ito lang yung F yung matitira. Okay? So, sabihin natin na, okay. So, paano natin? So, sabihin natin na kailangan natin ng horizontal and vertical component. Sabihin natin 3 meters to, okay? So, pasensya na. Okay, sabihin natin 3 meters to. Okay. And then, from that point, sabihin natin, ito, nasa 1 meter to, okay? So, you can already sum up moments. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating moments, okay? Pag sinabi nating moment, ito yung forces natin. Saka ito yung point natin. Sabihin natin, ito yung A. So, kapag vertical, ang force, ang hanapin natin is ito. Okay? So, remember that moment is equal to distance from fixed point, distance from a point, multiplied by okay. So, yung moment, okay, so I may correct myself. So, moment is equal to force, okay? Sabihin natin force times perpendicular distance. From a point, okay. So, ganyan. So, nilagay ko lang kung ano yung definition ng moment, okay? So, dapat okay, so paano ba yung perpendicular? So, ibig sabihin ng perpendicular is bumubuo siya ng 90 degrees. So, dapat yung forces mo, ganyan. So, dapat yung force mo is force Y. Okay? So, ganyan. So, parang ano siya eh. Kapag Y direction, yung force mo, yung gamitin mong moment arm is yung X direction. Dapat, itong Fy at itong distance na to, nagbuo sila ng 90 degrees. So, ganyan yan. So, marami kasing mga estudyante na akala nila, okay, ito yung force, yung distance ng A is vertical. Vertical din yung force, hindi. Okay, so kapag vertical, yung distance, yung force, just like this, so yung moment mo dito is X times force Y. So, kapag vertical naman, ito yung A natin. Sabihin natin, ito yung point A natin. Saka ito yung force. Okay, ito yung force. Sabihin natin, force X kasi X direction siya. So, yung moment mo dito is equal to Y times Fx. Okay? Dapat, kaya sinabi ko, dapat yung moment arm at saka yung force, dapat ganito sila. Okay? Dapat naka 90 degrees. Dapat, okay, naka 90 degrees sila with each other para ma-compute mo yung moment. Okay? So, yun yung kaibahan. Okay? Baka malito kayo. Okay? So, that is moment. Moment is simply, okay, so ulitin ko, is force times perpendicular distance. Okay, so that's the concept of that. Okay, moment is force times perpendicular distance. Okay, pag sinabi nating moment at A, doon ka magme-measure from point A up to that force. Okay, so that is my explanation. Okay, so let's go back to this example. Okay, so ganyan yung moment. Okay, so what about in this figure? Okay, so may 3 meters tayo, tsaka may 1 meters na pataas. Okay, so dito, pag nagsum up moments at A ka, mawawala ito. Itong AX at AY, nasa point A na naman sila, so wala silang moment arm. So yung distance nila from A itself is 0 kasi nasa A sila mismo. So itong forces na to, magiging ganito. So yung Fy natin is mamumultiply siya by ano to? Okay, so sabihin natin ang kulang. Okay, sabihin natin hanggang yung 3 meters hanggang dito lang. So sabihin natin 1 meter to. So magiging Fy times 3 plus 1. Okay? Okay, so nakalimutan ko class. Kailangan natin mag-assume ng direction ng moment. So sabihin natin na yung clockwise yung positive. Yung parang yung ikot niya is parang ikot ng relo. Okay? So sabihin natin ganun yung positive. So itong Fy direction na to relative to A, parang iikot siya na parang, okay, just imagine that the A point is fixed and every forces you see in this figure will rotate. So, ibig sabihin, mag-summation ng moment ka around A. Okay? Itong Fy na to, gagalaw siya na parang clock. Gaganon siya, iikot siya clockwise. Di ba? May imagine nyo? Ito yung fixed point, fixed siya, hindi siya umiikot. And then, itong Fy is nagkukos na gaganon. Okay? Gaganon siya pababa. So, parang iikot siya clockwise, kaya positive. Samantalang, doon naman tayo sa Fx. Yung Fx natin is nakaharap doon. And then, relative to A. Okay? So, relative to A, 1 meter siya. Okay? Ma-imagine nyo, clockwise din yung direction niya. So, yung perpendicular distance nitong f of x, itong f of x na to, okay, f of x na to, is 1 meter. And then, dapat mag-equate siya kay 0. So, ganyan. And then, wag nating kalimutan na si Fy is equal siya kay F cosine theta times 4. Okay, yung Fx is F sin theta then times 1. Kaya, meron kang F4, F cosine theta plus F sin theta is equal to 0. So, mabubuo mo na yung tatlong equations mo. Ito, saka ito. Okay? So, kailangan mo lang ng 3, kapag merong 3 unknowns ka, so magkakaroon, may 3 unknowns, and then 3 equations ka, masasagutan mo yung problem. Okay? So, in this situation, dapat yung theta mo is may value para magkaroon ng solution. So, ganyan yung pagbuo natin ng equilibrium equations in 2D. Okay? So, ganyan yung equilibrium equations. Okay? So, maybe we will have another example. Okay? Okay, so let's try like this. So, okay. So, I hope nakuha nyo yung concept. Okay. So, okay. So, let's have another example. So, what if ganito yung forma ng beam, ano natin, ng body natin. So, let us say, ano to? So, meron, sabihin natin, meron kang equipment. Sabihin natin, ano, yan. Parang may binibitin ka. Okay. So, ganyan. So, what if, okay, sorry. Yan. What if meron kang boom truck? Saka may weight to. Okay. Yan. So, paano natin ma-apply yung equilibrium equations dito? Sabihin natin, meron kang itong figure. So, let us say, ano to? Let us say this is 1 meter. Let us say this is 8 meters. And let us say this is 3 meters. Okay? Dapat nasa center. Okay? Yan. Okay? So, in this type of problem, pwede natin ding ma-apply yung equilibrium equations. Okay? So, we just need to identify ano ba yung hinahanap natin. Okay, so let us say, anong pwedeng hanapin natin? Okay, so let us say, merong dalawang vertical force dyan. Sabihin natin, this is R1 and this is R2. Okay. Which is the reaction of the forces at the bottom of this car. Okay, so paano ba natin mabuo yung equilibrium equations? So, tandaan natin yung equilibrium equations natin. Okay, so isulat ko dito ulit, yung summation of forces X, 0, summation of forces Y is equal to 0, and summation of moment is equal to 0. So, paano ba yan? So, meron kang at X direction, walang, okay. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung pwede nating i-apply na equilibrium equation. So, as we can see, walang forces at along X direction. So, pwede nating hindi gamitin si summation of forces X kasi there is no walang existence ni ng X forces along X direction. Kaya, wala. Okay. So, diretso tayo kay summation of forces Y is equal to 0. Okay, ganyan. Okay? So, paano ba yan? So, if this is the case, mag-summation of forces of Y at Y is equal to 0 ka. Okay? You equate all the forces along Y direction is equal to 0. Their sum is equal to 0. Okay? So, here, sa nakasanayan niya, yung upward as positive. So, upward si R1 tsaka si R2, kaya R1 plus R2 minus W is equal to 0. Okay? So, ganon. Ganon, nabuo na natin yung isang equilibrium equation. Okay? So, ano pa yung pwede nating mabuo? Okay? So, pwede tayong gumawa. Okay? So, pwede tayong, okay? Sabihin natin na available itong si W, ha? Dalawa lang yung hinahanap natin. Sabihin natin 8 kN to. So, magiging R1 plus R2 minus 8 equals 0. Kaya, R1 plus R2 is equal to 8. Okay? Conceptualizing muna tayo. Okay? Summation of moment is equal to 0. Okay. let us say counterclockwise as positive. So, paano natin masosolve tong problem na to? Okay, so one technique, given si W, at ito, si R1, okay? So, pwede dating mamili tayo kung saan tayo magsasum up ng moments. Okay? So, please take note na itong si R1 at saka si R2, assumption, you can assume the direction of its okay? Let us say, nag-assume lang ako na upward silang dalawa kasi pababa itong si si weight nitong object na nililift up nitong boom truck. Okay? 8 kilonewton. So, from that case, so I assume that R1, it could be that both of them might be upward, should be upward, or at least one of them should be upward. Kasi kapag hindi upward yung direction, tapos pababa to, hindi siya magkakaroon ng equilibrium. Kaya, okay, so that's how you assume direction. What if kapag negative yung sagot natin? So, kapag negative yung sagot natin, okay, so speaking of, if ipatuloy natin yung pag-solve ng unknowns, then it turns out na negative yung result. So, for example, si R1 is negative, so, hindi siya pataas, pababa siya. Okay, so what if yung moment naman yung negative, kapag merong moment na hinahanap? So, kapag negative, ibig sabihin, yung assume positive mo na value, for example, yung moment mo na inassume na positive is counterclockwise, so clockwise siya kapag negative. So, ganun lang yan. Okay? So, that's the concept. So, ako, pipiliin ko to si R2. Mag-summation of forces tayo kay R2. Okay? So, para makita natin kung ano ba siya. Okay? Makita natin kung positive, kung tama ba yung assumption natin na pataas siya. Okay. Summation of moment at R2. So, ibig sabihin, okay, sum up moment at R2 is equal to 0. So, this weight, which is 8 kilonewton, yung perpendicular distance niya kasi pababa, then vertical downward siya. So, itong 8 meters. So, we have 8 times 8. Okay? So, since counterclockwise yung assumption natin, so relative to R2, itong W is iikot siya na parang orasan. Then, kapag nag-assume ka na counterclockwise yung positive, so negative siya. So, negative 8 times 8. Okay? So, R2. Then, what about okay, so what about this R1? Okay, so ito yung, ano natin, dito tayo nag-moment, so itong R1 relative to R2 is, iikot din siya ng ganon. So, this will rotate, 1 meter to, this will rotate clockwise, so negative pa rin. So, it should be negative, okay, sorry, negative R2 times 1 is equal to 0. Okay? So, speaking of, masolve natin. So, si R2, negative R2 is equal to 64. So, therefore, no. Kasi R1 pala, R1. Kasi R2 tayo nag-moment, so si R1 yung may moment. Okay? So, R1 is equal to 64. Negative R1 is equal to 64. So, therefore, R1, or R sub 1 natin, so, R sub 1 natin is equal to 64 kilonewton. Yan. Negative. So, ibig sabihin yung R1 natin, instead na pataas, okay, so instead na pataas, pababa pala siya. So, 64 kilonewton downward. So, ibig sabihin, yung first assumption natin na positive siya is not correct. Okay? So, yan, mat-check natin kung pataas ba o pababa. So, there's no problem actually. So, sa simula, mag-assume ka talaga. And then, if it turns out to be negative, so it's the other way around. So, if you assume the direction is upward, is positive, then the answer is negative, so it's downward actually. So, if you assume that a force is leftward, and then it turns out to be rightward, so it should be negative. So, kapag negative yung result, baliktad yung actual na sitwasyon. Kaya R1 is 64 kilonewton downward. Okay. So, knowing that itong R1 pala natin is downward. Okay. So, downward pala si R1. So, ibig sabihin, pwede na nating ma-solve. Okay. So, we have R1 which is 64. Okay. So, we can already okay, so we can already sum up, use this equation to solve the problem. Okay, balik tayo dito na equation. So R1 plus R2 is equal to 8. We all know that R1 is negative. Okay, kapag nakapag-assume ka na ng direction, ituloy-tuloy mo na. Okay, wag mong baguhin yung direction sa assumption mo, sa equation mo. Okay? So, dito, nakuha mo na negative si R1, so ipagpatuloy mo na negative. So, negative 64 plus R sub 2 is equal to 8. So, therefore, R sub 2 is equal to 72 kilonewton. Okay? Dahil positive siya, so tama yung direction na inassume natin nung una. So, upward siya. So, ganyan yung pag-solve ng problem using equilibrium equations. Okay? So, this is how you do it. Okay? So, I hope meron kayong naintindihan. Okay? So, maybe in the next videos, magsosolve tayo ng actual problems na merong using equilibrium equations nang sa ganon is mas maintindihan natin. Okay? So, we will solve problems from our PDF book. From the PDF book directly. Okay? So, please wait for that video. Okay? So, sana may naintindihan kayo sa video na to. And then, I will send, okay, I will copy the link of those example videos in the comment section. Okay? So, if you're interested, so pwede nyo pagpatuloy yung panonood doon na side. Doon sa mga videos na yun. Okay? So, thank you.